And once again, we're going live right now to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. And joining us is the head coach of Sigma FC, Bobby Smyrniotis. Bobby, welcome.
Anthony, how are you?
I couldn't be better. And let's talk about you first and foremost before we get to Cyle Larin and his outstanding day. Bobby, let's go back. Let's go back to when you started as Sigma. Why did you start Sigma? Why did you and your brother believe in days like this that would come and put a smile on your face and all your academy? Talk about it.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, we started and we got going 4 days like this. And if we look at our area in the Greater Toronto area, Southern Ontario, there's a great deal of talent there. There's no doubt about it, but we felt that if you put the right structure, philosophy, and culture in place, the results would show over the years. And here we are today. You know, we did it a couple of years ago with Kyle Becker and some other ones, and here we are today with the #1 pick in the MLS draft.
Bobby, what was your goal when you sat down and you said, this is what I want to do? I want to do something special with this academy. I don't want to just put together, a few coaches that know the game and maybe try and get as many players as I can to fill our pockets full of money. But I want to do something special. How did you put this all together?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, I grew up in the system. So I grew up playing there as a young man, and I saw where there were holes. And in the end of the day, I'm a person who dreams big. And to dream big is to want to be able to develop players for different levels of the game. And when we look at youth development, in the end of the day, as an academy or so on, your #1 goal should be to systematically produce players for the next level. You know, those next levels are very different in North America, but the ultimate goal is to reach the professional level. And if you have that in sight, then you have that competitive edge in training, you have the players, you have the quality staff, vision, philosophy, and culture, and you get the results of today.
Bobby, there's lots of good quality academies across North America, but if there's one thing that pinpoints your academy that is different from many others, that puts you at the level that you're at today with the #1 pick in MLS, and as you mentioned, Kyle Becker with TFC, what would that be that separates you from other academies and youth clubs?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a hard thing to look at. You know, it's what I say is we do a great job inside the field. Our vision of the game, the way our coaches work, the universal philosophy we have in the organization, and the enjoyment the players get out of it. They know they're in a place that's going to push them to their limits. That's always going to keep on making them better players. And at the same time, they enjoy the football. And I think that's the most important thing, because in football, it's all about what's done inside the lines. And I think as Sigma FC, we do a great job inside of that field.
Bobby, talk about when players come to your academy, or when you selectively choose players that you want to come into your academy. How important is that discussion with that young man, his parents, that you make them understand that it's our recipe, our way of doing things that is going to bring you success, whether in the NCAA, MLS, or Europe? You need to listen to what we want from you. How important is it that you lay out the ground rules before anyone kicks a ball in your academy?
Yeah, of course. I think that's one of the most important things, the way we try and put it out there to the players and also to the parents coming in and at our first meetings. It's we're no different than a school, and we have to work in the approach of going through each grade in a gradual process. And everything is about a vision long term. You know, as a coaching staff, as myself, as the director, we have to be able to look at a 12-year-old and say, you know, what's this guy going to look like 4 or 5 years down the road? And what do we need to do to get him to this level 4 or 5 years down the road? And not being emotionally attached to the players, but being focused on a job. And we know the parents are always emotionally attached to their kids, and that's great. But we try and get them to understand that mentality and looking a little bit more forward. And our most successful players have bought into that idea.
Bobby, let's be honest. You get bombarded daily from university coaches down south, from clubs in Europe, about certain players of yours, from MLS as well. When they come up, when they watch, when they talk to you, when they talk to your brother, I'm positive they ask you, why is it that your academy is producing quality players? Why is it that you're doing the things that need to be done, but Canada continues to lag behind? But let's hope not for long under Benito Floro. What do you say to them?
Yeah, I think from our little world here at Sigma FC is we've stuck to it. And sometimes the hardest thing to do is work over the long haul and work over a period of 7 to 10 years, because the results, and when I mean results in developing players, takes time. And I think that's one of the hardest thing to do with anyone starting out with any club as well. And I think we've had that longevity. So I think that's the one area where we've done a great job in.
Let's talk about it. Number 1 overall, Cyle Larin of University of Connecticut, a proud Canadian, a proud Sigma product. He's humble. He's down to earth. The first time you laid your eyes on Cyle Larin when he came to your academy, did you really believe that this young man would have the success he's had early on?
Yeah, I mean, we first saw him at 11 years old, and like every 11-year-old that we see, you see good potential. And I'm the first one to say you can never project what's going to happen in the long term. But as he kept on coming through the system and developing into his mid and later teens, you can see that there's something special in him, along with a few other of his teammates. But his mentality, the way he works on the field, and just his drive to get better and not look at any other outside environment, but to focus on himself, is a great quality to have, and those are the qualities you need to be able to play at the next level.
Bobby, how important is it now that a statement has been made in MLS, in North America, that a Canadian has gone first overall from your academy? How important is it that dreams now can come true, and this can be now displayed, shown to all your kids in your academy, but all across Canada, that they can say to themselves, look, this Ontario product, this Sigma boy, went on to number 1. How important is this day for you, your academy, but for Canada in general?
You know what, Anthony, I'm most proud of that fact, and the fact that here we have a Canadian player, born and bred, who developed in the country and so on, and has gone number 1 in the draft. I think that's a fantastic feat for all of Canada and Canadian soccer. We've been taking some knocks over the years, but I think we're on the right path. Things are changing, things are moving, and this is one great accomplishment of it. So if we look at it overall from a Canadian soccer aspect, I think it's a great thing that we needed. And obviously from a Sigma aspect, I'm proud to see one of these players who started at the bottom of our system, and when I mean the bottom, at the younger ages, and worked his way through. And this is the first step that he'll have in a professional career, and he understands that everything starts up today, and that he'll have to go in, work hard, and establish himself as a professional. And that's one thing that he really understands as a young man is, he's gotten himself a contract, and here based on potential and playing, but now he has to really be able to do it on the field with the big boys.
Bobby, I'll let you go, but before I let you go, I've known you for the last couple of years. You're a humble guy. You're a sweet guy, but you're an honest guy. But you're a guy that wants the most out of each and every player that comes in there, because you want to see them succeed, whether at school, first and foremost, by getting an education down south, or possibly like Cyle Larin and going first overall. Talk about the emotions that went through you today, thinking about this young man going overall. But not only this young man, for your family and for this academy, and what a proud day this is.
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting on the draft floor today, and obviously Kyle's not there. He's down with the under-20s in Jamaica, and that's a great thing. And you're getting a lot of flashbacks at that point, at least personally I was, of different phases of him as he was a young man. And since we're here, Anthony, he was 12 years old, and we're in Holland playing a bunch of the clubs, and we just left the field against the FC Utrecht, where he had a good game, and we're sitting on the bus, and one of our coaches asked him, why are you here at Sigma? And as a young 12-year-old, young naive guy, Kyle turned around and said, well, you guys are going to make me into a pro. And that's that one thought I had going back to 2007. That's great from my aspect, and I've shared that story with Kyle, and it's great now that we're here in 2015, and he's made his first step into the pros.
An amazing day for Sigma, an amazing day for Cyle Larin, an amazing day for yourself, Bobby. Continued success. I said to someone about 3 weeks ago before Christmas, I said, I believe Bobby Smyrniotis, and I'm not telling you this because you're on the air with me, Bobby, but I truly believe this. I think yourself and your academy are starting to become major trailblazers, major players in Canada in all the good ways. So continued success to you, Bobby, but to all the other kids in your academy and across this country, so we can get to where the USA is today in having so much success, because I think that's what you believe is important. That's what I believe, and that's hopefully what a lot of young Canadian boys can believe as well. Bobby,